Back to basics, the VIX and what it is and why it matters. Check it out.
This is Dan Max, the trading agent. This is a stock trading and recap channel that I wanted to share to the masses. In a probability game, there's no certainty. Here are my insights and predictions.
This is Dan Max at EXP, aka the trading agent. Gonna do a little video real quick about the VIX and the SPY and just kind of, a lot of people ask like, what is the VIX and really what is it, what is it used for? And let's go over it. So here's the Discord room starting here. The VIX is basically just a measurement of the size of moves that potentially can happen. The VIX usually rises on down markets because the market takes the steps up and the elevator down. It's really that simple. When the VIX is expanding, you should expect bigger moves, and bigger moves are typically down days. You're going to see more down 2, 3, 4, 5% days than you're ever going to see up 2, 3, 4, 5% days. So the volatility index, it's just a rate of change index. And when the VIX rises, usually the market's dropping. Now, it doesn't always have to be. I've seen over the years many a time the VIX can rise and the market can rise because the market's moving at faster paces, and the expectation of the size of the move can affect the VIX. So keep that really simple. So if you look at the VIX today, and again, I leave this here. I kind of copied this from Justin Pulitzer, but I've always kind of known this. He just had it nicely put out on his charts, and I just said, you know what, I should copy that, because if I keep it on my VIX charts, people will be able to see it and also understand it. And so we're at crash risk kind of areas. Do I think we're going to crash short term? I really struggle with it because of the seasonality of things coming into the holidays. But if you look at the markets, let me get into that real quick. Let me see if I can find it. My seasonality notes. If you can see this, usually the market until sometime between the 5th and the 8th, December can be a good month. So just look for entries between the 5th and the 8th. That's usually what happens. We get called the Santa Claus effect, where the markets rally into Christmas. That's what I think is going to happen. So the VIX at 31 here did break a long-term downtrend. The VIX is very volatile, as you notice. And if you've been paying attention, you noticed I called the bottom here. I said a W pattern. Beware of a VIX spike. I mean, you've seen it. Typically, W's or chops before it goes higher. Now up in the 31. Are we really a crash risk here? I struggle with it because if the news is just based on Omicron variant, which has little to no symptoms, I'm not super worried about it currently. So how does that affect the SPY? Well, here's one of the things that we were talking about today is that the SPY has dropped a decent amount, but not really in the scope of things. And so that's interesting to see the VIX accelerate. One of the things I like to talk about is if it is a bear market, keep this in mind. The markets will go down slowly, and when the VIX spikes, that's usually a bottom in a bear market. So that's where you get bear market rallies after the VIX spikes. It really feels more like a pullback and an uptrend. We shall see. I mean, there's no certainty here. There is big volume. There is big puking. But I try to warn people, keep in mind that you have end-of-year lock-ins at times, especially in December. You get tax selling. You get all sorts of seasonal effects that can create exacerbated moves for the short term. And so if the VIX is at 31 and we're at crash level, man, we've only come off this far. Either the VIX is about to explode higher and the markets are going to actually get just railed, or we're going to be bottoming soon. And now you got the 100-day here. You're just under the old highs. They're printing money. That's not stopping. And one of the things that I was talking about, as long as the TLT and bond rates stay low, and obviously the TLT is an inverse relationship. When the TLT rises, bond yields are going down. I mean, you still have to look at historically. Like, bond yields are still crazy low. When I first started trading, bond yields were like 5-6%. And the TLT was in the 80s and 90s. We're in the freaking 150s. 150s. Rates are still so historically low. So I hope people understand the VIX. Again, it's just kind of a rate of change potential indicator. It's more used for pricing. I pay attention to it for pricing options, because if your implied volatility and the VIX are up, you can sell options and get paid. That's a whole nother story for another time, but just keep an eye on the VIX. I mean, it could base here, and here's the crash in '09. It's crash in 2020. Here's a nice little pullback in 2011 coming off the bottom. I don't know if the VIX can really get much higher at this point unless there's some news that I'm not paying attention to. So I hope this helps give you a little understanding of the VIX. And if you're still not understanding it completely, just think of rate of change. You know, when the markets are dropping, the VIX expands because the rate of change of the S&P 500 is usually larger. Again, I repeat, you usually see down 2, 3, 4, 5, 6% days. You don't usually see up days that large. So hence the rate of change is expanding. The VIX is expanding usually on down days. So keep that in mind. I hope that helps. Don't overthink the VIX. Just watch it. When you see it expand, and you can see the moves expand. And after complacency where the market continues to rise, expansion of VIX means the market's probably going to pull back, or, you know, and because the size of the moves are going to change. You know, you can see it very clearly in the SPY up at the highs when the VIX was in the, you know, single, you know, right there in the, was it 14, 15 range. Look how small these day moves. They're tiny. The rate of change per day was nothing. Now you get an expansion. Wham! This big candle, expansion of the VIX. It's that simple. I hope this helps with the VIX, and if you have any questions, stop by the Discord room. I appreciate everybody. Have a good night.
Thanks for watching. Please subscribe if you like the content. Also smash the like button, share with your friends, and add a comment. If there's a topic or stock you'd like me to give you insight about, let me know in the comment section. I'll do my best to answer your question. Thanks.